Rough Friday night for the Mets as they were blanked by the Padres 7-0 out in San Diego. We're going to talk some Mets baseball. We're going to do it with a host at WFAN. He's also a very passionate Mets fan. It's my guy, Al Cintron, who joins me now. Al, what's going on?
What's going on, Dex? Everything good?
Everything is good with me. Not so good for the Mets on Friday night, but they have been playing a little bit better lately. And on Friday night, Mets were shut out, struggling to get on base against Padres pitching. What adjustments do you think the batting lineup needs to make to avoid a repeat performance in the series?
How about just hit the damn ball? I mean, in the last 20 games, you got J.D. Martinez bat 185, Harrison Bader 184, Francisco Alvarez 156, Brandon Nimmo 200. Those numbers right there from your everyday players in your lineup is just not going to get it done. You know, during this stretch of games, the Mets are also 9-11. While the Padres are 15 and Arizona's 15-5, the Padres are 14-6, and the Braves, who they're chasing for the final spot, are 10-10. So if the Mets are going to save their season, they better get it together here versus San Diego.
Going to have to get it together, and it's going to have to come with some better at-bats. Those numbers that you just mentioned, Mets fans can't like that. Not good to hear. Very low batting averages. Now, on the pitching side of things, Al, Paul Blackburn, he had to exit early after taking a liner off his hand. How significant is his injury for the Mets rotation, especially given their recent struggles with pitching depth?
Well, it's not like he was any good last night anyway. I mean, it's unfortunate that he got hit in the hand with a ball, but what was it, two and a third? He gave up 60 runs, 75 hits. I mean, he was just absolutely atrocious. The bad news is it gets worse because I have zero faith in Tyler McGill. Christian Scott's not ready. And other young pups in the minor league are ready to jump into the rotation. So right now, the Mets pitching rotation is thin and the options are minimal.
Yeah, they really are. And so we're going to see to figure out how the Mets are going to handle this moving forward in terms of starting pitching. Tyler McGill, candidate to come up and replace Blackburn in case he has to spend time on the injured list. Now, the Mets made a move. They sent Huascar Brazoban to Triple-A after some of his struggles on the mound. How do you see this affecting the bullpen? And what do you expect from Dedniel Nunez, who was activated from the IL just on Friday?
I have high expectations for Nunez. You know, I've been saying since the combination of the law offices of Buto, Nunez, and Diaz have been in the back end of the rotation, everything's been fine. The 7th, 8th, and 9th have been beautiful. 6th, you got Phil Maton, who's been solid for the Mets since he's been here. Brazoban, huge disappointment. You know, I'm always leery of guys who go from bad teams who play in front of 13 fans like in Miami, then they come to the big spotlight of New York City or any big name team. And he's just been disappointing. Right now, the bullpen without Avino, I can't rely on. Maton, like I said, he's been good, and I expect big things from Nunez to continue where he left off prior to the injury.
All right, feeling good about Nunez. A little shade to the Marlins fans and 13 people out there watching them down in Miami. A little
Miami
shade
fans in general, Dex.
Man,
Miami fans in general.
Look, man, I see you out here throwing the shade. I see it. I just got to call it as I hear it. I got to say that for sure. But we'll see how the Mets bullpen is with Nunez now back in the fold and what he's able to do with some late game relief. So with this series continuing against the Padres on Saturday, 2 more games left, what do the Mets need to focus on here to secure a series win over the Padres and win these final 2 games?
Well, we're going to need Peterson and Quintana, Quintana to go deep into the games. That way we can get to Nunez, Buto, and Diaz. The situational hit is going to be key. You can't have 2 hits against Greasy Ear Musgrove. That's a guy we owed a big-time beatdown to, and we came out flat, just absolutely flat, and got mauled. So it's important for me. The swing game tonight is the huge game. You got Peterson versus versus Yankee legend Michael King, and then tomorrow you got Quintana versus Perez. The Mets, to me, if they win this game tonight, they will win the series and head into Arizona, winning 3 out of 4 from the Fathers.
All right, we will see if they will do that. I just want to also know, I saw you throw some shade there to the Yankees, calling Michael King a Yankee legend. I see you. I see what you're doing here. Al's too much. You got to love this energy from Al. You love that energy. Catch him on the radio at WFAN, one of the best on there, talking about everything, including Mets baseball. Al, always a pleasure to connect and talk with you. We'll see how the Mets do over the final 2 games of this series. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Dexter. Let's go Mets.